All right, everybody. So moving on to our second guest this week. She's actually someone we were supposed to have on our show last week, as we had mentioned, but due to the massive storm in our area that caused a ton of power outages, internet outages and such, we had to postpone, but she's with us now, and she can be seen every Thursday night on what we feel is Fox's new hit show, Wayward Pines. Please welcome to the program, Shannon Sossamon. Shannon, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and again, thanks for working with us, even though I will say it was the first time we ever had to postpone something on our end, but Mother Nature obviously had some different plans. And today, actually, we were talking off air, there was more major storms in the area, and even a few miles away from my house, there was a funnel cloud and almost a tornado. But despite all that, we're glad you can join us.
Well, like I was saying earlier, I feel slightly envious. I don't know where I'm in California. There's a drought. I wish there was rain falling on us. Plus, I just like rain.
Yeah. So we're a little over halfway through Wayward Pines. Episode 7 just aired this past Thursday. We're moving on to episode 8 now of the 10 episodes that are airing. So a couple episodes left. What can we expect, without obviously any spoilers, what can we expect with coming up on Wayward Pines as we're wrapping up towards the end of this?
Oh, such a strange show. There's definitely, I think, you know what it is? I think it's because they have the reveal halfway through the season. Mm-hmm. The big reveal.
Yeah.
I think that it's more that the last half, the upcoming episodes are more the drama and how everyone deals with resistance to some of that information and denial and moving forward. How are we going to what is it's how everyone reacts to it. The main characters. And kind of the drama that comes from that.
Okay. Yeah, and like you said,
there's a lot of drama, because I think that's a lot of character challenges and action as well. I won't not say that. There's definitely some action, but I think everyone knows what we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say
kind of how everyone deals with that.
Yeah, like you said, the 5th episode was the very big reveal, and somewhat twist. Many shows save something like that for the finale, which kind of makes me wonder. I know, like you said, most of it is them dealing with that. Are there going to be any other twists or surprises in these last few episodes?
Definitely. I think that there's some things at the end that are really, that even shocked us when we read it and then saw the finished product. So for sure, there's some wonderful moments that land hard. I don't want to take that excitement away.
Yeah, you don't need to spoil it, but I just wasn't sure because I know at least in a few scenes, your character and a couple other characters were thinking maybe Matt Dillon's character was brainwashed, and now it had me second guessing myself. I'm like,
I'm the same way.
Yeah, it's interesting because Teresa, and Kate as well, are kind of in the same boat there. They have different information, but they both really, Teresa for a very long time it's just completely in the dark.
Right.
Kate has a lot of information this underground kind of way, but Teresa doesn't have anything. It's almost naive, and which is fun. She just wants to get the heck out of there, from an irritated maternal place.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Adam said, it's got you, the writing is so good on this show that even after that big reveal, and everybody was stunned as to what it was, and we're trying not to say it for people who haven't had the chance to see the show yet, but there's the big reveal, and then like as Adam said, afterwards you start to second guess it, even though you're convinced by the end of that episode that's what's real, and now you're starting to wonder as to if it really is real, and now you continue to watch to make sure. And, you know, writers like, mysteries like Wayward Pines, they tend to keep those like closely guarded so that, you know, they don't reveal to the public and things like that. So I'm kind of wondering if you knew, when you first read for the role, did you know what was coming in that episode yet? Or had that not been revealed until after you got the part?
Well, it's in the, you know, a lot of it's in the books, and I read the first book, and we spoke about it in cast and producer meetings in the beginning. You know, we definitely all knew, like, where we were and what the operation. Toby Jones knew who he was playing, and we all, you know, we knew what was going on. But yeah, there's, for instance, Terrence didn't, and I won't say it, but Terrence didn't know his fate until he read it.
Okay.
So there were things like that were surprises for all of us. We didn't know the ending until we read it. We didn't know. So there, it was all in the details, the creative choices that were surprising. But where we were, the big reveal, what the show is really about, we all knew the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And did you say you read the book before you got the role, or was that something that you kind of checked out afterwards?
No, I read the first book when I got the audition.
Okay.
Just to kind of understand the world. But it didn't end up helping me very much because Teresa is a lot different in the book. I actually really liked her in the book.
You don't like her, the character you play?
No, I stop it. It bugs me a little. It kind of bugs me, you know. But I also remember feeling incredibly frustrated there, and I thought, you know what, this is just kind of bleeding into the other. Like, this is appropriate. It's fine. I felt so frustrated during the process in many ways. That are normal for a creative process and for a production and whatnot, and just not having any information sometimes as an actress, and just kind of, you know, we were all in it together, and it was a ride for sure. And so that kind of felt sometimes like I was actually stuck in Wayward Pines. So that part I liked about it, but she was I think in the book Teresa was a clerk. She was like a secretary or a clerk, which seems funny that I would want that instead of what they made her, which was an attempt to make her stronger,
right. Which
was a former Secret Service trainee, which is where she was supposed to have met Ethan, or where she did meet Ethan, and then got pregnant and decided to obviously stay home. I was having a hard time getting my feet in that. There were some holes in that one that were hard for me to even buy, and so I was struggling with that. But and eventually it worked, and we figured it out.
Yeah.
But I think I would have been like, oh yeah, of course. I'm, you know, the white. How it read, I don't know if either of you have read the book, but how it read in the book was it's kind of fun. It was. Yeah,
I do want to check out the books. When I kind of stayed away from the books when I heard about the show being announced, because I had an opportunity to see the screening of it at the Comic-Con that was in our area, you know, a couple weeks before it had aired, and they had a Q&A with M. Night. You know, and he had mentioned there were definitely some differences from the books. So I wanted to get through the show first, and then I was going to go back and read the books. So I do still plan on going back to read them.
Yeah, you should for sure. And I only read the first one, so I haven't read the rest, but I hear those are really great too. And I think he's still writing more. I think he's continuing the world.
Well, that's good. That means that's potential for hopefully further seasons down the line, or further miniseries for Wayward Pines. So
yeah, I think they've got an interesting world here for sure. I think that would be a good idea if they did that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned a lot of the cast earlier, you know, but the cast on the show is definitely a solid cast. You know, you got yourself, you have Matt Dillon, Terrence Howard. You know, these guys aren't strangers to the screen before, but you have an Oscar winner in the cast, you know, with Melissa Leo. I'm wondering, you know, these people, and I'm wondering if that was at all intimidating for you to have to, you know, to work alongside them.
You know what? It was actually at times. I I realized during the process, and I still say this even after, that it's like, wow, this is the one place that has, this is the most, like the highest number of incredible actors I've ever worked with in one room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've done a lot. I actually haven't done a lot, but I've done a good amount of work. But considering the amount of years I've been at it, it's actually, when you count, I did a few months ago, I counted exactly how many movies I'd done, and it was so little.
Well, you took a break too, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I've had two. So I have a 3-year-old and a 12-year-old, and it's a funny rhythm, you know. So
yeah.
It's like right, kind of, you have momentum, and then I have a child, and then there's some sort of momentum again, and your child's growing up, and then you have another child. So I'm, you know, just going with the flow in life, and everything happens for a reason. It's really beautiful, and I love it. But it does sort of it kind of chops it up.
Yeah.
But also, you know, I've turned down things that, you know, I could just do for practice or even money, and that's not the greatest business for sure, and I admit that all the time, and I could be working more, but I really do think I love these periods of staying home and being with my children and trying to just get to know myself, really.
Yeah, and nobody can blame you for that.
Aside, the Oprah episode aside, which I could totally go on in that direction forever. The cast was, yes, I you know, at the table read, on set, rehearsals, at dinner, sometimes we would all go out to dinner. Just remember looking around and thinking, wow, this is a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. It's like, you know, these are 6 or 7 really incredible actors all in one place. And like what I was starting to say is that in the past it's been, I've worked with incredible actors, but like 1 or 2 in a movie, you know, and so that was great. It was intimidating. Everybody has very different acting styles, and that can also be tricky, kind of navigating your way through that, because I tend to be an actress that's very much, I don't come in with everything completely set. I really love being in the moment and having things be super alive and reacting to the person you're with, and by the way, most actors love to do that. I'm not saying I'm not doing anything actors usually don't do, but I almost, like, I do that a lot extra.
Uh-huh.
You know, more than have something pre-planned. And that's actually a little bit of a hard style in television, I noticed. And it's really hard when you're working with a lot of different people and they have different styles and how they approach things. And so I would say I learned a lot in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, in production-wise, you know, you're working under a project that's M. Night's work. Were you a fan of his taking this on too?
Yeah, very much. I hadn't seen all of his movies, but I remembered The Sixth Sense, and I remember liking it a lot. And mostly I was a fan of him as a person. When we met and when we worked together, I was just surprised at how funny he was. He's very funny. So I found myself laughing all the time. And that was a great feeling and a great experience. And I think he did a great job with the show and the pilot and kind of navigating everyone. I mean, I think he's really fun. And
he's from this area too. He's from out this way.
Yes, I love your area. He actually was really sweet and invited us all to dinner when we started the show, and it was beautiful. He lives out in this like beautiful farm.
Yeah.
It almost felt like it was Amish. It was so pure, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some really nice areas out this way when you hit those kind of country looking areas.
Exactly.
And this isn't blowing smoke or anything. I mean, Ben and I both agree. This is probably, the Wayward Pines is probably some of his best work that he's done with all the movies and everything he's done. And this is his first stint on TV, right? Like, he hadn't done any TV shows before this, not that I can think of at least.
No, I don't think so. I think this is his first. Yeah. I think it's great too.
I was gonna say, like you said, with all the names involved, and you had said, you know, you felt like this was the most great amount of, I don't know if that's proper grammar or not, most great amount of actors you've worked with.
Yeah.
I think that would be the case for many actors and actresses, all these great people in the show, and I'm sure that was a big draw, like we said. And outside of M. Night, I mean, just in other TV shows with this type of genre, were there any of those past or present that you were a big fan of that kind of helped draw you into this type of role as well? I mean, I know I wouldn't really compare it to Lost, but the whole kind of like mind games it plays with you kind of compares to Lost. Were you a fan of any type of those TV shows?
You know what? No, but that's only because I haven't seen them and there's just not a lot of time. I'm not a huge television person. I don't watch a lot of TV at home, although right now I am watching Downton Abbey.
Oh, okay.
Because I never saw it before. So I actually started with season 1 about a month ago.
Is it good?
I'm lost in the world. Yeah, it's very, I don't know if you guys would like it.
TV shows in general are quite a commitment. I mean, there are so many that, you hear about that are really good, but it's just hard to watch all of them.
Yeah, and we have to live our life. It's like, okay, there's I believe you that it's the best show you've ever seen. And I believe you, but I can't, I don't know, I have to choose life or this fictional, there's so many. There's two, but we're saying a positive for our industry, obviously, because it was very grim for a while there for us, so, and for everybody in the entertainment industry. So it's exciting that there are so many.
Are there
working?
Are there any maybe fun or funny or even eerie stories that happened while you were filming on set, working on a show like this? The best time I ever had was when I was working with Terrence. Okay. He's local
Terrence
to us, too.
I
think he's a Philly guy.
Yeah, he's a Philly guy, too.
Yeah.
You should just come hang out in Philly, I guess.
That's the theme. That's what's happening here, is that you guys are all funny. Or fun. Yeah, we would just be doing the most, dark, intense, terrifying scene. And right when we said cut, when they said cut, it was just like cracking up. Just by being with him, I just had a really great time with him, and I cherish that for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about his success right now. He got that show after we did Wayward Pines, and probably no one knew, even them included, that it would be such a huge hit, and I'm just really happy for him.
Yeah,
he's a very special person.
Empire is a huge show for Fox.
Yeah, another one I haven't seen, by the way. I wish I could say something about it.
I'm in the same boat. I haven't watched it yet either. So,
what are your guys' favorite shows? Is there a theme that you draw to your podcast? Is it all sci-fi?
No, we cover all different aspects of pop culture. I mean, it's not just sci-fi or it's not genre related. It's pretty much all TV and such. I know. Right now, I've had friends telling me for a while to check out Parks and Recreation, so I'm kind of in the middle of that right now, and I'm loving it. So I'm been binge watching that one.
Now, how do you binge watch that one? Is that like Amazon Prime, or I know this is a silly question, but sometimes where do all these live?
Mostly Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's where Parks and Rec is right now.
Okay, got it. Good to know.
Yeah, probably
You've got one of those Roku boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, those are a dangerous thing to have.
Truly.
Yeah, we probably do lean a little more toward not necessarily all sci-fi or anything, but I mean we do talk a bit of Game of Thrones. I know Ben's a big fan of Walking Dead. Although House of Cards is not sci-fi, and we're very big on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that one's really good. Actually, a director who's directed a lot of those episodes, it's another show I haven't seen, is James Foley, who did episode 5, the big reveal one of Wayward Pines.
Oh, okay.
Well, now we can see why it was so good.
Experience. Yeah, no, that was one of the best. That was a great experience. I felt incredibly safe with him. Probably the safest I felt all season, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, he was incredible.
Well, I know we're getting close to the end of our time with you, but I can't go without mentioning that Adam and I are both huge fans of A Knight's Tale. And that movie was such a great, solid movie. And, it was so much fun to watch. I wasn't aware at the time watching that movie that was actually your first major role, was it not?
It was, yes.
So, I mean, I gotta wonder what it was like for you to have your first major role be a movie that's so, that's such a fan favorite of so many people. It's like, it's gotta make you feel good, at least knowing that now.
Yeah, well, mostly I'm so proud because so many people love it years later, and that makes me happy for the director and writer, Brian Helgeland. I love Brian till the day I die. I think he's just a special person. He's of an older order. They do things a different way, and I love that. He's very classic and epic, and his writing is so solid. No cutting corners, just like a solid, amazing, classic screenwriter. And I just got lucky, I got lucky, and I also worked hard for it. I think being 20 and, I grew up in Reno and never having acted before really except for commercials and music videos where you don't have any lines and you're just expected to just look pretty and dance around. I jumped in a really fearless way that I still to this day try to remind myself of and grab again, because there was nothing to lose. It was a casting director had seen me and asked me to audition for it, and she probably even thought it was a fluke and was just kind of like, this girl's interesting, let's try this, and didn't think it would go. And then my first reading was strangely okay. It was like I said, I was just going for it from such an innocent place, and it was actually working, but it wasn't quite there. And so then I did another reading, but it was better. And then because I kept getting called back, it was giving me more confidence, and so it just kept getting better and better. And I won it. I won it fair and square, and it was an incredible experience. But I do. Sometimes I think about oh gosh, I wish it hadn't happened so early because I would have loved. I do feel envious for people that had school, proper schooling and a place to fall down and get back up. I've definitely learned as I go, and it's been a ride, so many different kinds of movies and characters and kinds of directors. And like I was saying before, I'm someone that's just the instrument's really very adaptable and can be terrible if the director's terrible, and the writing's terrible, and can be great if the director's. And I think when you study and you have technique, it's nice to always be able to come through for yourself, no matter what.
Yeah.
If the director's good, So that would be my only if you were to say regret for having done something so kind of soon or naively, but mostly it's just been, everything, like I said, everything happens for a reason, and you just go for the ride.
Yeah.
I think at least back then, not many people can say this, but back then, at least you're every then high school aged boy's major crush that year, at least. I know that much.
That's so funny too, because she's such a snot. I think about it now, and it's, I have not watched it in a very long time. It's so hard to watch things.
Oh, it's always on TV.
And it's so hard when it is. I'm like, just change the channel. But such a snot. If I was a young boy, I just, And anyways, I think it's funny.
There was the one scene, it was on this weekend again, so I actually did watch as much of it as I could, but there's the one scene where she had made him lose, and then he lost, and then she made him need to win, and Heath's character just gives that look, and I had the same look on my face, just like a woman, make you lose, and then now she wants you to win.
I remember Brian telling me once, he was like, I just had to, there were some, even though you're reading, your first reading wasn't, it wasn't like it was the best, you got better as we kept calling you back, but there was something in the way you were sitting, you were so naturally a princess, so maybe I was a snot, maybe I am a snot, I don't know.
Nah, I don't think so.
The last 20 or so minutes, I would say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
You guys are cute. Well, it has been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. We want to send our listeners your way to follow you on Twitter. You're at Shan Sossamon. And
yes, and same with Instagram, Shan Sossamon.
Okay, yeah, we'll send people your way there as well as following Wayward Pines Fox on Twitter. And, of course, check out Wayward Pines Thursdays, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock Central. Shannon, thanks so much for joining us. This was great.
Yeah, thank you guys, too.
So, all right, guys, we will be back with the showcast right after this break.